If Masai does not build that team around Scottie, and Scottie sees that this team's going nowhere, read my words, guys. Scottie Barnes will leave Toronto. Scottie Barnes will leave the Raptors.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome to Tea Time with Tommy with your host Tommy, Norbz, and me, Britt. Hey guys, long time no see. I haven't done an episode in so long.
Yeah, it's finally great to have co-hosts.
Yeah.
It's finally great to have two co-hosts, audience of Tea Time. It's finally great to have two co-hosts with me.
We're back, just like spring training in baseball. We are back. We are back.
Hey, you both left me to do an episode by myself. I'm not happy about that.
That's okay.
Both owe me something.
You did great.
Quite the experience, yeah. It's an experience of a lifetime.
Quite the experience, yes. I just want to say, the viewers before Britt, you start off. I'm just a little sick, so I have this Kleenex in my hand. I was coughing all morning, so just bear with me. Norbz and Britt know about it, but I just wanted to say that.
It's all good. You still sound great.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thanks, Britt. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So on this episode, we're going to be talking all things Toronto sports. Well, just basketball and hockey. So let's start with the Toronto Raptors. Well, Tommy, you're wearing a Raptors hat right now. So probably start off with you. And let's talk about the Raptors post-trade deadline. What is happening?
So as you guys can know, the last topic, which I did by myself because you guys weren't available, talked about the Pascal Siakam trade. So we got 2 first-round picks for the 2024 season, guys, which will be huge for Masai to build around Scottie, RJ, and Emmanuel. So we get 2 first-round picks, a conditional 2026 first-round pick, which was good. We also got Bruce Brown, Kira Lewis Jr., and Jordan Aurora. Now, what we did was we flipped Kira Lewis Jr. I don't know why we traded him to the Utah Jazz with, I believe it was Otto Porter Jr. for Kelly Olynyk and up-and-coming prospect, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, guys, Agbaji, we got from the Jazz. He looks like a really good, promising player as well for the future of Toronto. And then we also traded Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young for nobody, because originally we got them for Spencer Dinwiddie, but then Raptors waived them. To save $13 million in salary space. So I don't know why we gave up 2 players for nothing, but I mean, it's to save salary, but it's pretty hard attracting free agents, guys, to Toronto. So I don't know what kind of magnificent grand scheme Masai and Bobby Webster's creating over there in the Toronto offices. But so far, it's been pretty even, in my opinion, guys, with the trade. Like, Pascal with Indiana really hasn't done anything. Like, what are they, 5-6 in the past 6 games? They were 5-6 before, and I think they're also 5-6 again during the past 6-game stretch. I heard not doing so well. Raptors were just sinking down the toilet.
We're not doing well at all.
Oh, me and Britt were at the Spurs game, Norbz, and it was horrific. Victor Wembanyama single-handedly destroyed us. For all the Raptors fans who didn't see that game.
The future of that team.
Me and Britt,
I was so impressed by him. I was like, I came here for the Raptors, but actually I came here for him. And so I was like, damn, he was the star of the show.
And I've took Britt to many games. Norbz, I've took Britt to many games because she's such a great friend of ours. And that's the first time she was impressed by a player. I mean, that's when she's like, wow, this guy is amazing. He's elite.
Like, he's just so lengthy. Like, his hands, he just needs to stretch and then he'll block.
Why didn't we get him? Why do we have to end up getting ridiculous draft picks? We can't get Wembanyama. But yeah, and then we're tanking and stinking up the joint. The only thing I think Schroeder and Thaddeus Young made no impact for the Brooklyn Nets. I've heard thus far. Schroeder scored 4 points. The last game against the Celtics, not that good. So the only team that's won in all these myriad of trades that we've done is the Knicks. The Knicks got OG, and they look stout and stellar looking like an Eastern Conference contender right now. But all in all, OG Anunoby wasn't going to do anything for us. Like, yeah, he's a great role piece for a championship team. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to move the needle and lead us to a championship with Pascal. So we have to trade him. And we got, I believe, two good pieces in RJ and Emmanuel. That's the future of the Raptors with Scottie. So it's even. I think post-trade deadline, we really didn't lose anything. The other teams didn't really gain anything except for the Knicks and OG. And I'm kind of happy we're going to tank so we get another good draft pick. But this year's draft doesn't look, it looks So I don't know. Like it's just right now for the Raptors post-trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Raptors situation, I think they've lost 3 in a row. Although they came close to certain games in the last 5 or so, with the exception of Wembanyama, just controlling the whole game for the Spurs and
he did control the whole
Raptors.
game, right, Britt?
Yeah, literally. I think the Raptors are in a good place right now. I think they're in a crossroads in their franchise. They just had a new coach and in the Darko Rajakovic. He's doing a good job, an excellent job so far. Yeah, there are some games where they could have won because of the lack of defense that they have in those few games, but they've came close. They've came close to certain games in the last 5. I mean, their progress is not really brutal, but at the same time promising. I mean, with the exception of the Spurs on Monday. The Pacers, when they faced the Pacers in Siakam's return to Toronto, they only lost by 2 points. It's heartbreaking to lose that close against the Rockets. They won that 107-104. The Cavaliers, it's 119-95. I mean, as you can see, this is a very progressive team, as I mentioned before, and these trades that they've acquired, Kelly Olynyk and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. I think there's going to be more. There's going to be more happening in the offseason. I mean, they're just playing out how are they going to do at the end of the year? Is it time to keep rebuilding or do more wheelings and dealings? And I think that's what the Raptors should focus on. Basically, pan the season out and assess the situation for the off season. What do they need for next year? I think to me, they need more defense. That's plain and simple to win close games, especially. So, I think that they're in a good spot right now. The draft. They just have to muddle through it and see what's best for them, as a team and what they need so far. So, I think that they'll do more dealings at the off season, but like I said, they're just gonna have to assess what's going on near the end of the year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Norbz. Their defense, from what I saw, was so bad. I was
lacking.
It was
Victor Wembanyama, Brett.
No, I was are you even professional basketball players? Even when Wembanyama wasn't even blocking them, it seemed like they could not even focus of where where their teammates were and passing the ball just simply. I'm how can you miss a pass? And why are you throwing the ball so far? Do you know? Are you communicating with their team? And it looked like no.
Yeah.
It looked like they were just each individual player was playing by themselves.
That's so true. Yeah.
You guys know me. I want to bring some fire to our podcast to get some views and clicks, right? So I'm gonna say something nonsensical, but not so nonsensical. I don't want to go off topic on the Raptors here. Victor Wembanyama. So Luka Doncic, you're in Dallas right now. Listen up carefully, okay? If you don't win a title with the Mavericks in the next 2-3 years, how long you're in Dallas, Luka Doncic, join Victor Wembanyama. Luka Doncic, go to the Spurs, join this masterful superstar, Victor Wembanyama. You will win a title. I said it.
Well, let's hope that Popovich is still coaching the Spurs. I mean, they're in a transition as well.
He's gonna coach
Yeah,
Trevor.
and he's a terrific coach, but I can't really count Dallas out. I mean, they're having a fantastic season as well. And yeah,
It's
I
the
mean,
same
they
song
have a
with the
good team as
Dallas
well.
Mavericks.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good team, like two like talented teams, and unfortunately, the Spurs is exactly where the Raptors page is right now when it comes to the standings. But Dallas has a potential. They're have an opportunity to at least make the playoffs and go a little bit further. But there's other strong teams out there. There's the Lakers, Minnesota, the Clippers, all those teams that are hungrier than the Mavericks. So let's see how the playoffs pan out. I mean, like, it's gonna be exciting, like how these teams are gonna jock for position.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your bets for the Raptors this season? Like, what do you think is going to happen in the future and in the season?
Can I go first, Norbz? Hear this
Yep.
out. You know me,
Yeah.
I got these crazy takes, right? Yeah, Norbz and Brett know this. All the Tea Time with Tommy viewers know this. So once Scottie's contract done, Norbz, I'm thinking 2025, his contract is done. I'm looking at 2025 or 2026, whatever. Scottie's contract's going to be done. Scottie Barnes. If Masai cannot show Scottie, like, build a championship team around him, I'm saying he's going to leave because I think he's going to be a Raptor for life. I think he loves our city. He's got those Subway commercials. He's got those camera commercials in downtown Toronto. I think he truly loves the city of Toronto. I'd be surprised if he leaves, but let's not be surprised. Like, if Masai does not build that team around Scottie, and Scottie sees that team's going nowhere, read my words, guys. Scottie Barnes will leave Toronto. Scottie Barnes is from Florida. The weather is better over there. It's not as cold. Don't have to pay Canadian taxes. Florida is tax state free. Don't be surprised if Masai Webster don't get the job done and surround Scottie with the team. Scottie Barnes will leave the Raptors when his free agency's up. I'm sorry. I'm the one out of this group that has to. I'm the one out of this group that has to say it, guys. But yeah, Scottie might.
Okay. What's your take, Norbs?
Well, I think to me, Scottie Barnes is a really talented player. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But if you look at the Raptors' track record, in their past 25 years of history, each draft pick that they've drafted, Chris Bosh, Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, Tracy McGrady, Pascal Siakam, like all the players that they've acquired homegrown and that they've drafted, they've really treated well, and they've signed them. They've been Raptors for like a number of years. They don't leave right away. They don't leave within like 2 or 3 years. So I think, to me, the same treatment goes for Scottie Barnes. He will be a Raptor for the long term. I think that's the goal in the next couple of years, to sign him to a long-term extension. I think he's a very talented player. I mean, like, I can't really compare him to DeMar DeRozan, like, when it comes to stats and everything. But like, equally for guys like DeMar and for Scottie Barnes, like, they're young, they're very talented, and they can outscore anybody. Their game is right where it's supposed to be. So I think that the Raptors have traded their draft picks in the past very well. They've become Raptors for a number of years, and I think for Scottie Barnes, it's going to be the same thing. Like, they'll sign him to a long term, build a team around him, and he's going to be the core guy. He's going to be the core guy, just like how Siakam was one of the core guys in the championship year of the Raptors, and how Vince Carter and Chris Bosh talent was back in the day. Like, they centered those guys around others that can play well together. So I think Scottie Barnes will be a long-term Raptor for the years to come.
No, I once again, Norbs, I'm not gonna, I would be really shocked. Sorry, Britt, I didn't want to cut in there, but I'll be really shocked if Scottie leaves. But I mean, like, there's a good chance. How can we all sit here and think he's not? Like, he's from Florida. free, no state income tax, better weather, family and friends are there. Like, it's not out of the foreseeable possible. If you see that this team that Wasai and Webster building around them aren't good enough to contend for the future years, why am I going to waste my time here? You know what I mean? So I hope we don't lose him. He's our main player. But I mean, you know, as you said, the history states that all the superstars we picked, they end up leaving, except for Pascal and DeMar. Everyone, all the other superstars end up leaving or demanding a trade. Like, well, that's another story with Vince Carter's trade thing with Nets. But, you know, you never know.
Yo, guys, like and subscribe to Tea Time with Tommy, or else Tommy will not stop texting me to remind you guys to subscribe and like all the posts and watch everything, because this guy's a legend.